ultimately, our culture, who we are, the strengths of us being a people, that's our survival trust. I am because we are, own African saying. We are, therefore I am. I'm still on watch. Thank you for your engagement.
And I thank you very much, Dr. Utley. Dr. Utley was true to form, very exciting, engaging, pregnant with relevant content. A presentation that is. The purpose of the study was to initiate sport psychology studies in English-speaking Caribbean islands and to investigate the knowledge and the perception of selected Trinidad and Tobago coaches and athletes regarding sports psychology consultation. The results indicated that there was an overall need for knowledge-based and culturally sensitive developmental programs in sports psychology. There was a perception among sport groups that sports psychology services would contribute to the improvement of their sport performance. I must say, well done. And also that sports psychology research is very youthful in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. In Trinidad and Tobago, however, there is the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago, where we have the Sport Development and Performance Unit and the Elite Development Performance Unit, where there are 4 psychology officers spread across both units, delivering sport psychology services to the Trinidad and Tobago athletes. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, let's thank Professor Utley. I know you have questions, but this is one opportunity you're going to get to save, because we're going to have the 3 presentations and then we will field questions. So I saw some people doing the right thing. They were taking notes. All right, so continue to take copious notes. Our next presenter is none other than Troy Morgan. Troy Morgan is a doctoral candidate at the University of New Mexico. He's a research associate at the Center for Education Policy Research in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's a lecturer in human performance and sport at Metropolitan State University of Denver, a professional scout for the Miami Marlins. Mr. Morgan's presentation would be on sports sociology and the origins of NAS. NAS meaning the North American Society for Social Sciences, for sociology. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you Mr. Troy Morgan.
All right, good morning. So to get off, there's obviously lots of thanks and commendations that go out, but I'm going to save the time because we don't have that much. But the first person I do want to thank some thanks to is Ms. Keomi Pascal Mortley, the program coordinator, without whom I'd probably be in Venezuela right now. So I appreciate all of her help and guidance throughout the past couple months. Some common themes thus far, this early in the presentation, has been a lot on leadership and what I'm going to call application. As such, I'm going to leave out or I'll at least give you just a very brief overview and history of NAS and get more towards the application. and what we can do, or what can be implied or maybe learned from North American Association of, or I'm sorry, North American Society of the Sociology of Sport. So to give some of those key issues which have been manifested through the development and the history of NAS, in hopes to shed some light and possible implications for the studying of sociology of sport in the rich, historic, and dynamic society of the Caribbean. So, just real quick again with the NAS, what I call the pre-NAS era, before the development of the association and before the first conferences were held, we have a list of works that culminate in what we now have as NAS and what we now have as the study of sports sociology in North America. I'm not going to go through all these authors and books and works, but it would be worth your while if you find it interesting to help you learn the history of North American sports sociology. Now we get into the actual early years of the organization. The formation was in 1978, so we've got quite a leg up. North America has quite the leg up on many nations and countries with a formal study of sociology in their region. And the first conference was held 2 years later in 1980 in Denver, Colorado, which I believe our distinguished keynote speaker from yesterday was in attendance at. So you can correct me if anything is wrong. I'm going to skip over Paradigm Wars and an academic home, just because we don't have time. Paradigm Wars, or what I'm referring to there at least, is the division between qualitative research and quantitative research and its place in sociological research. And then academic home, lastly, as mentioned throughout yesterday and I believe earlier today, there is a lack of legitimate or perceived legitimacy in sports sociology in North America, and so we have lately been seeing the decline in sports sociology specific programs in North America, where maybe in the early days of NAS we had more and more doctoral programs studying sports sociology specifically. Now those are a lot of times under the guise of sport management or physical education, and then you have to specialize within that in sports sociology. So I'm going to get right to the key issues then. So the key issues are the relevance and importance of the field, a critical emphasis but few solutions, a commitment to an applied sociology of sport, what exactly is applied sociology of sport, and the need to expand the field. The future of sports sociology in the U.S. is very much dependent on how the field goes about addressing key issues, and how those key issues are successfully resolved. Let's see. The key questions and issues must be addressed and successfully resolved by North American sports sociologists and their Caribbean counterparts if both fields are to thrive, well, not only survive, but also thrive. More key issues are the teaching of sociology of sport in a form of advocacy, the place of advocacy, importance of marketing, national level networking and international networking, as well as problems in Caribbean and problems and challenges for applied sports sociologists in the 21st century. Sports sociology in the 20th century is a lot different than what it's going to be in the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and a lot of ours are academic careers. Rapidly changing, and new challenges in the 21st century are already presenting themselves. So first, the need to address relevance and importance of the field to the society, of the field of sports and society, the world of sport in general, and the role of the academy. It is not far from the mark to suggest that the study of sport has always suffered from a sense of academic irrelevance, and we've had some couple of speakers that have touched on that so far. While sport is generally viewed as a legitimate venue for recreation and amusement, it has struggled to gain support as a phenomenon worthy of scholarly attention. While some American sports sociologists continue to contest the proposition that the field is beset by serious problems, a close examination of the issues uncovers available evidence. Let's see, so while other fields and disciplines such as philosophy and history may also experience pressures in the academy, they are deeply embedded in the mores of Western tradition and Western thought. Let's see. Sports sociology, as a new field of study, on the other hand, has no such legitimacy as the other social sciences. In American higher education, so its existence, legitimization, and future growth must be continually defended and promoted. And this is done, as we've seen, through research and through application. Let's see. In the U.S., college and courses, so, a lot of times the question is, well, what is sports sociology? Well, the way we can begin to talk about what is sports sociology is in some of the detriments that have happened to sports sociology is that in the U.S., college courses offerings in the area have been scaled back significantly, as I just said a few moments ago. Most doctoral programs have been eliminated. As first and second generation sports sociologists retire, they are rarely replaced with specialists in sports sociology. Again, they're replaced by sport management professors or sport administration professors or physical education or kinesiology professors that have an interest in sports sociology. So then that's where the sports sociology, we are able to still get it, with the exception of some few programs that still have one or two doctoral programs that you can really specialize in the sociology of sport. And then again, those wanting to emphasize in sociology of sport must do it under the guise of sport management. And part of the problem, not problem, but part of the issue with sports sociology is its competition with sports psychology. As we just heard very eloquently, sports psychology is much more applicable and is very much more useful and is very much more advertised and marketed because you can see the immediate effects. You can work with individuals on a personal level and they feel the effects. Whereas sports sociology, we have not done well in developing an applied sense to help not only individuals but communities and societies as sports psychology has. Now, that's not to say that we can't or that sports sociology cannot, but it's just we have not done that yet. And that is a major task for people studying sports in our society and how they interact with each other. We have also in sports sociology, or in sociology in general, we have a critical emphasis but few solutions. Harsh critical analysis of sport, while academically necessary and very much worthwhile, have also contributed to the schism between sports sociology and the very institutions they seek to better. Understandably, the public finds itself often confused in sports sociologists who declare that they love sport but just hate how it is exploited for political and economic gain. Further, it is evident that American sports sociologists have not done a very good job of pointing out that their efforts and critiques are limited to those systems and structures that exploit or contribute to the maintenance and reproduction of racial, sexist, and other oppressive practices. Nor have sports sociologists convincingly clarified in their works and presentations that their efforts to expose the various ills and often elusive practices that oppress participants are actually intended to help the very athletes who they have set out to help and who are often the victims of such oppression and exploitation. The disconnect between sports sociology and the very individuals they are attempting to help is the fact that most critical analysis of sport, with some exceptions in earlier works, including Dr. Coakley and a research partner of his, Dr. Hughes, in 1991, offer few, if any, solutions to the problems faced by those involved in sport. Like I talked about, some of the common themes so far seems to be application and leadership. So part of that application, in order to apply something, in order to have a solution, solutions come in the form of actions. And so solutions that we have found in sports sociology that need to be championed and supported is to think critically, look beyond physical performance, research and look for informed or for material to give you informed decisions so you can make informed decisions, and then transforming sport. Transforming sport is something we've heard a few times today. So a commitment to an applied sociology of sport. The issue and relevance and application in sociology of sport surfaced in the literature about 50 years ago, with works by the following authors that has brought to the forefront the debate of the necessity and relevance of an applied sport sociology. And you can see those for yourself. Yet despite an increasing interest in the relevance and application, relatively little has been done to further the conceptual or methodological foundation of applied sociology of sport. At recent NASA annual conferences, however, there is evidence for a move in this direction, especially in the areas involving